Got another super chat from Sonny Rawson. Double up. Thank you for doubling up, Sonny Rawson. Greatly appreciate you, Sonny. My man Sonny writes, so excited the season actually feels real and not like a myth. Gonna be a great season to evaluate what we have and build off of it for 2021. I couldn't agree with you more. That is a very apt and very succinct super chat. I mean, it's straight to the point, says everything, and encapsulates everything that I've pretty much been saying all along. Like, I've been shooting down people all off season that have been telling me, why do you even care? Why are you even doing this? We're not even having a season. And to those people, I would just continue to say, you're wrong. We're going to have a season. Because first of all, I was in denial. Because at the time that those comments were being made to me, they were more right than I was. Okay. We were right smack dab in the midst of a pandemic, and sports seemed like something more like an afterthought. Like, why are you talking about sports right now? Weren't playing it. Didn't seem like it was going to be played anytime soon. I didn't want to hear it. And I told you, I'm more of an optimist anyway. I look at the glass always being half full rather than it being half empty. And so I was shooting down those naysayers all season long, and they were coming in droves. But, in the back of my mind, I knew that there was some validity to what they were saying. Like, there's a chance we might not get football this year. And that was a hard thing for me to accept. And as we got into July and, we started seeing the reopening of the country and all of these cases going up and skyrocketing, I was like, man, this is not looking good at all. But the saving grace always was for me, all right, let's see what Major League Baseball and the NBA do. If they're able to successfully get their seasons off the ground and have these things go off without a hitch or maybe a hiccup here or there, but, for the most part, it's successful. There's no way the NFL is going to allow this money to pass them by. It's just, that's how this country works. That's how these things work. Money drives everything. Too much money to be made for them not to at least give it a go. And so, the next big step was, hey, okay, how are they going to figure out a way to come together? Major League Baseball couldn't do it. That's why it took them so long to get onto the field. Couldn't figure out a way to make the economics work. In the NFL, more so than the NBA and the MLB, you got to figure out, these guys are in close proximity. On the baseball field, look, you don't have to be in close proximity to anybody. You can wear your mask in the dugout if you need to. There are ways that they can keep themselves safe in baseball. They should have been playing baseball a long time ago. In terms of the NBA, they've put them in a bubble. Like, they're literally in a secluded area where they can just play basketball. You can't do that in the NFL. You can't pick a city and say, all right, everybody's going to play their games here and everybody's going to stay in this bubble. You can't do that. So they had to put in safety protocols. They had to take some measures. Money has to be reallocated through the cap in years to come. There's a lot of things that had to be agreed upon, and they figured it out. And so now, knowing that we're going to get a 2020 season, man, am I exhilarated. I'm so exhilarated. Like, I can't begin to tell you how good this feels. And not only because we're getting a season, and as I mentioned at the top of the show, we're getting back to a level of normalcy, but I was so anxious to see this team in particular because there are no expectations for this team. Everyone thinks we're going to stink and be one of the worst teams in the league. Every time you look at some kind of way too early draft projection for next year, we're in the top 3. I haven't seen one yet where we're not picking first, second, or third. I haven't seen one yet. If you've seen one, I'd like to see it because I haven't seen one where we're not picking in the top 3. All right. So everyone, that is an indication that everyone thinks we're going to stink. Vegas thinks we're going to be garbage. Everyone thinks that we're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. And I think they're wrong because we were one of the worst teams in the league last year. That's how we got the second pick in the draft. Look at where we are from last year to now and tell me that this coaching staff, this roster isn't good enough for at least an additional 3 victories that gets you to 6. 6 doesn't put you in the top 3. 6 doesn't put you in the top 5. 6 may have you drafting in the top 10, But more likely than not, if you get to 6 or 7 wins, you're probably right around 10, 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I feel like there's no way we're going to be as bad as everyone thinks. And as Sonny has laid out so eloquently, we're going to get to find out what this roster is capable of. Who are the guys that are going to ride moving forward? And what are the positions we need to attack? We got a ton of cap space. What positions do we need to address in the offseason via the draft that's going to continue the momentum that we've built from the 2020 season and carry that through on into 2021, where I feel like the expectations for this team, if things go well in 2020, are going to be through the roof, at least for me. If Dwayne, and really all I need to see is this defense be vastly improved and Dwayne Haskins play well. If Dwayne plays well, I feel like and the defense is a lot better, I feel like you can build everything else around those two components. And if you tell me right now that the Redskins will be 6-10 this season, and I know some of you are like, Louie T, you're out of your damn mind. Hear me out. If the Redskins if you gave me a contract, you slid this in front of me right now, and you said, hey, take it or leave it, deal or no deal. All right. You slid a contract in front of me and I read the contract. And essentially this is what the contract said. The Redskins are going to go 6-10. There's no negotiating this. There's no wiggle room. You can't win an additional game or two, even if the playoffs are right there in front of you. And 8-8 is good enough to win your division. You're 6-10, buddy. All right. But if you're 6-10, Dwayne Haskins is going to solidify himself as a franchise quarterback, and the defense is going to be really good, and you see the makings of a defense that could lead this team to a Super Bowl. That's how good it looks. It's a la Jacksonville. Remember when Jacksonville, we saw the defense. They weren't any good, but we said, man, that Jacksonville defense, man, that shit is funky. Woo, they nasty over there. All right, now, Blake Bortles and the rest of that offense stinks, but that defense, if they ever had any offense, they could be lethal. And then what happened? All the way to the AFC Championship game. So if you tell me those two components will be in place, Chase Young is a real deal. Montez Sweat, real deal. Matt Ioannidis, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne, Cole Holcomb, all of these guys, ballers. And you telling me, all right, defense looks legit, man. Yeah, you got a couple of pieces that you need to upgrade, secondary, safety, another corner or two. But, man, this defense is legit. And so is Dwayne Haskins. Going to go 6-10 this year, but that shit is in place. I would sign that right now. Where do I need to sign? Give me the contract. I'll sign it now. Because that tells me that with a couple of pieces in the draft, a couple pieces in free agency, we're ready to go 10-6, 17 games next year. So you're telling me that we're ready to go 11-6, 12-5 next year in 2021. You're telling me you're ready to take that next step, potentially win the division, if not win the division, get one of those wild cards, and you're ready to go play some ball. So I can't speak for you guys, but I know that if we solidify those two things, I feel like this was a mission accomplished in 2020. And the fact that we're going to officially get to see that take place, I'm really, really excited about that, as you are, Sonny Ross. And thank you for the super chat.
Louie.